Action time.
Yes, you've got Mr. and Mrs. Novak tonight, guys. We thought we'd do something a little bit different because we do get asked a lot about video content, how to make video content, what devices do we use. So we thought we're just going to break it right down for you guys and just give you 5 of our top tips as to how you can make really, really good, simple, easy video content. I think it's critical to point out, Mark's just doing a little bit of a setup here, but I think it's really critical to point out, guys, that you don't need a big fancy studio. We do have that here at Novak HQ. So we actually get a lot of our content out from a big live studio. And what we're filming right now is actually, I think have we got, what view have we got here, Mark? What's everyone seeing? Okay. So you guys can see behind us, we've got a green screen. Just before we get started with our 5 top tips, I just want to explain to you the setup that we have here. So behind us is a green screen. What's a green screen for? It can actually, we can put on there any image we like at all. And you guys can see a fancy setup. We can be on the moon. We can be in Rome. We can be anywhere at all. But the idea is that we can actually put up a really, really cool image if we want to. Mark's revealing what's behind the green screen. Very good, Mark. Very good modelling. Yes. Very good modelling.
So the reason why we do the green screen is see all that glare that we get on the back, all that stuff.
And blur now too.
And blur and stuff like that. The camera finds it hard to focus. But when you're on a green screen, now I'm going to pull the curtain back across. You'll see it on the studio setup.
Yeah. Very good. It's very good at this. Very good. So guys, now I hope you're all seeing behind us. This is an image of our office. And so that's what you're seeing on a green screen. But look, you guys don't need any of this stuff. We just want to show you what the studio setup looks like, because most of the time, about 90% of the time, the stuff that you're seeing is what you're seeing right from our mobile devices. And that's what we want to teach you guys about tonight. So, but yes, we do have a very, very professional setup here, but we also get a lot of content out now as well.
Yeah, so we'll show you the everything.
Yep.
And you just decide what you like.
That's it.
But we do, like we did, we had about 1 million minutes consumed of our social media videos.
Yeah.
In the last 12 months. Just on the Novak channel. So and I guess this is also for setting up on social. We call it Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, and now there's YouTube, Philly. Facebook, Insta, YouTube. Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Yep.
Now there's the Lisa Novak Philly. There's the Novak Properties Philly. There's the Michael Berger, Angela Goodshos, Glenn Higgs. Across all those channels, we're probably doing 2 to 3 million minutes a year. So it's very, very important that we just share our stuff ups, what we learn, because we do get asked so much.
A lot. We get asked a lot. Yeah. And actually, we've been asked to do this segment. So we just thought we'd share with you guys tonight what we know, what we don't know, and what's quite funny. And I think a lot of people assume because I do individually so much social media, I am not great with technology at all. And so I always default back to the easiest thing that I know, and that's using my mobile phone. So I'll go over that with you guys in a moment. We also just want to have a chat with you about the devices that we've got here. So in our studio here, we've got the green screen that we just mentioned. We've got a proper like TV studio camera. We've got proper TV studio lights, and we've also got the big Rode mic as well. And then we've got our mixer board here where we can put sound and do all sorts of things. So
this mic, I'll tell you a little bit about the mic. There it is there. Look at him there, the good fella. Look at him. Hello. So that guy there, he's Rode makes really good stuff. If you guys are looking to buy some, invest in mics. That's okay. I don't mind that for now.
Oh, okay.
He's the focus at the moment. So he's the idea of this guy is super clear. A little bit. I don't think it's that directional. Picks up all noise. And then there's that's a wired one. So that gets wired straight into a PC. Now I'll give you a little bit of a setup on that in a sec. So microphone, I reckon probably microphone is probably even more important than visual. So we get all our stuff gets automatically converted by one of the team members to podcasts. So microphone, very, very important.
This is only for a studio setup, guys, so don't freak out because we're going to go through the real simple tips with you.
You want to do simple first?
Yeah, let's do simple first because I think otherwise we're just going to confuse everyone. So we put together the 5 top tips on how you guys can make real easy, real simple video content with stuff that you've got right now. So the most important thing is get yourself a really, really good mobile phone. That's super important. Number one, that is the most important thing. I mean, if you're a real estate agent, you're watching, or even if you're not a real estate agent, these days everyone's doing video content. It's really important that you get yourself the best mobile device. We love Apple products. Some people love Samsung. They're all really good, but just get the best one that money can buy because it's going to be doing a hell of a lot of heavy lifting for you guys.
Well, look, it's doing a lot of it's just doing so much for you, as a person. Now, this is not particularly a message for real estate agents only, but it's our business community. So there's a lot of people that speak to us about, look, we're wanting to take it next level. Even I was talking to David Allen this morning, the guy, the developer, and saying, look, as a consultant, he wants to take it next level. This is stuff that a lot of businesses, a lot of people, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, when again to give you the context, mobile phone.
So mobile phone, super important. Now this phone here, I've got I don't even know which iPhone it is, but I know I told you I'm not great with technology.
12.
This is the iPhone 12. 11, 11. iPhone 11. So the camera on this thing is phenomenal. Yeah. The big mistake people make when they're doing video is they never really know which way do they video. Do they video that way with the camera towards themselves, or do they video that way with the screen towards themselves? Here's a really good hot tip.
So bloody obvious, but the best tip ever.
Yeah. You've got to have the actual screen pointing towards you when you're doing your video content, because you won't need to flip your camera around. All right. You're actually going to be much closer up on the camera when the actual screen is pointing towards you. So most people naturally assume have this camera here pointing towards you and then flip the camera around. No, definitely don't. Big mistake. Keep that towards you and hold your phone up nice and high at about a 45-degree angle. The big mistake, again, people make is to hold the phone down and look to it, and you look like Frankenstein. So, yeah, it's not a great angle, and it's not very engaging for people.
The bad angle.
So hold your mobile phone up nice and high, guys, when you're doing your video. The thing is, when you're videoing this way, you can have the camera on yourself, but then you can just maneuver the camera around and walk people through the property as you go, and then you can bring it back, and there's none of that clunkiness of changing the video camera around.
You lose that fluidness when you're talking. Your concentration goes away from the topic.
Yeah.
And then you start basically just scatterbraining a little bit. So when you're actually not looking for that button and not waiting for the switch, you're just a nice fluid speaker.
You actually lose engagement with the audience as well when when you flip the camera and it like flips to the room and then it flips back to you and then it flips back again, and you actually disengage your audience. So keep it nice and fluid. Keep the camera up in front of you and nice and high. That's the way to go.
Now, the real obvious one that none of us actually got, but Lisa mastered, was the selfie camera for real estate anyway. The selfie camera is meant to be that far away from your face. So it's actually built as a really wide lens. It's like a fisheye lens because it's built to be really close. Now, when you spin it around, it will get a whole room because it's built to go so close. So we didn't realize that when you flip the camera around, it wasn't actually a wide angle lens on Facebook. It is when you're taking photos, but on Facebook, it's just the natural lens. So that camera up there is super wide. And not only that, mechanically in your head, you're not thinking about where's the button. You're just turning around like that and you're getting a whole vista, room, whatever.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So that's tip number 1.
I'll cover the technical.
Just on that as well, and I'm a really bad advocate of this, is clean your lens. So clean your lens because, you know,
that's a
girls
big one.
have makeup on, and, you know, you put your phone up to your ear and before you know it, you've got makeup all over it, and then you go and do filming and it's all blurred.
Natural oil.
So always just give your, I keep like a little microfiber cloth in my car, always just give your mobile phone a
That's
really
huge,
good clean
huge.
before you actually start to do your filming. So that's top tip number 1. Top tip number 2, this is an awesome hack, this one, the good old microphone. So we continuously struggle with the whole microphone thing. When I'm out and about doing my videos, I rarely wear like one of those clip-on mics. I just don't have time to be fiddling around with it. But what you can do, if you want someone to do the filming, like say for instance, Mark's standing over there and he's filming me at the front of a property, I can actually have my AirPods in my ear, which has got a microphone on it, and that will pick up on my mobile device and it'll give you really clear sound.
So Facebook Live,
Yep.
if you can have your AirPods in, if you are throwing your camera around like that, it's okay because you got your AirPods in, which are only that far from your face.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
so that's gonna double up as a mic without having to fiddle around with all of those clip-on mics. But for the people that do want to wear those clip-on mics, I think we also use the Rode mic, don't we?
Yeah, you're gonna
We use the
pass that
Rode
one.
mic.
Actually, I'll use this one. This is the newest, grooviest one that we've just had. So these guys here are a receiver and a sender.
Oh, we're getting technical now. Very technical.
Ching, ching.
Yeah.
One plugs into the iPhone, one you walk around with on your lapel. Okay, lapel or tie or whatever. Doesn't have to be that close, and it'll pick you up to a meter. That'll get you.
Or you guys can use one of these. So you can use that clip-on mic, clips on, and it's got the transmitter and the receiver, and you can use that. They work really, really well. I don't use any of these when I'm doing a lot of the stuff that I do. Very good, Mark. I don't use any of this stuff, and purely because, again, I'm not great with technology, but it's just it's too fiddly for me to have to put it all together. When you're at a property and you've got to sort of be in and out in 5 minutes, I'd rather just go in with my mobile device because I've got that with me all the time.
But if you can, these guys are about $200. These little puppies.
Yeah.
And,
where do you get them from? Where can you get them from?
eBay, Road Direct.
Okay. RODE.
If you get it from Road, at least you can take it back if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Then to plug it into your phone, this really sucks. If you're a Samsung, boom,
Too bad. Sorry.
straight in.
We're Apple people.
Easy.
Right. Okay.
If you're an Apple person, you need this.
Yeah.
Right, which is USB to 3.5 mic. Then you need USB to go into this, and that's got to go on your phone. So that's
right.
It's difficult. Lisa, you wouldn't understand this.
I don't understand any of that. Again, I
tribulations.
always default just to my mobile devices. Just what I use. Occasionally, I'll whack the AirPods in if I want a good mic and I'm on the hop. So, guys, the next one is when you're doing your video content, always go live. So go live on your Facebook. Facebook absolutely loves live video content. So go live. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. You're human. People would prefer to see the authenticity on social media over and above that polished Hollywood style version. So definitely go live. What a lot of people don't realize when they're doing their Facebook or Instagram live, and I've just learned today that you can do LinkedIn live as well. What a lot of people don't realize is you can actually save that video content when you press the end button on your live video.
Very hard to remember.
It's really hard to remember.
Very hard to remember because you're sort of a bit flustered or a bit on the fly when you're doing a live. So as soon as you press stop, it's like, but you automatically default to press the share button, but there's a save button there. If you can save that to your phone, you can reuse it.
That's right. You'll reuse it. So it looks like you're doing your live content all the time, but you've actually just saved it to your camera roll. So that's really important. You'll only forget to do it a couple of times and then you'll be like, shit, I forgot to save it. And then you'll remember to do it. So once you've saved it, it will go into your camera roll. So that's another hot tip for you guys.
If your agent doesn't know how to do this sort of stuff, they are not a multimedia agency.
Yeah.
they do not know how to sell on multimedia. They're a traditional selling agency, which is great.
Correct.
But you want traditional when you're selling your place, and you want a
Yeah.
multimedia selling agent as well. You want a double barrel shotgun. So
I love that.
It's important.
I love that. A double barrel shotgun. It's really important. No matter what the client.
Your image is sometimes blurry. Yeah. So
That's probably because I've got makeup on it.
Yeah. So the camera is trying to focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why the auto camera. But yeah.
So we've got to just for those of you guys that have just tuned in.
Sergio's right. We're talking about being pros and it's going blurry.
Yeah, but the reason it's going blurry is because the camera is trying to focus. So if we put something up to it, it'll try and focus on that, and Mark and I will go blurry.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason it is. We're using a proper TV camera here at the moment.
We need that to happen because we need to show you
close up.
The man.
Yeah.
I'm blurry.
And then it'll focus again.
Autofocus.
All right, next, Mark, you're going to talk about the Osmo device.
Osmo.
Because I'm hopeless with technology.
Sorry about going blurry. Okay, so this puppy is good for agents that are walking out. If you're walking with these cameras, you need to not lock your knees. You need to do a little bit of a crane. I'll do it on the left camera. Without this, you've got to sort of go a little bit like that when you walk. Sit on my knees, like low. You can do that.
Like a tiger.
Like a tiger. You got a crouching tiger position. Now, if you don't want to do that, or if you want to do a better job than that, you use one of these puppies. So this will lock in your phone. About $180.
I don't think you'll get my phone in.
They're about $180 at Apple. We can buy them online. Yeah, you're right. I'm not going to get that.
No, you won't better lock it in with the case.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
That's also annoying how you've got to take the case off these phones.
So what happens, you turn it on, what it does is...
Just make sure my phone doesn't come flying out.
Here we go. So I can be walking around and it'll take all of the out of the filming. Lisa Novak doesn't use one.
I don't. Again, I'm not great with technology, but it's not that I'm not great. I mean, anyone can be trained on this sort of stuff. For me, it's more about like the moment. I'm there, I'm running in, I'm running out, I'm busy. I don't have time to go fiddling around with that sort of stuff. You've got to remember to charge them as well. But, you know, look, I think you'll find, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know there's quite a lot of girls on here. I'd love to know how many girls out there actually do use a lot of technology.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Or do you keep it real simple? Because for me, it's more about getting out all of that content, and I'm doing about 5 to 15 pieces of content a day. I don't reckon I'd be able to get out that much content, Mark, if I had to fiddle around with devices all the time.
Can I say hi to everyone?
Yeah, let's say hi.
Adrian, you're a legend. Letio, Michael Edwards, too much heavy breathing makes in blurry. Sergio, image is blurry. Nikki's there. Glenn, legend.
Carly,
Glenn's got a great social media channel if you guys want to check him out. Martin Wong, hey. Adrian Reed, nice haircut from Michael Edwards, from both of us. Yeah, you got a haircut as well, he noticed.
Got a chop, yeah.
Craig Munn, how are you, legend? Paul, hope we're helping you. And guys, feel free to ask questions along the way.
Yep, definitely.
We'll do it. But yeah, you're right, Nikki, simple and raw. People are loving the authentic side of media. So, and they can see right through it when there's a bit of wank or bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to blend it. So if you can have some content that's inspiring and super professional, but I think also at the end of the day, that candid person to person,
100%,
belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball.
One of the big mistakes that I see agents make is they just get too hung up on everything. Just overthinking stuff. The idea is just keep it real simple. Again, start with your mobile device. These things have got amazing cameras these days. Just start with that. Just get used to using that and going backwards and forwards with your filming. That's the best thing to do. Number one. That's what I would recommend.
Every time we go live?
No.
Do so.
No, I don't.
Do so.
Do not.
What's the next one?
Do not. I'm going to... No, I do not.
Where'd you get that from?
That came off the thing.
That's out of the studio. Look what Lisa just went to attack me with. She picked it up. Really?
Okay, so next, guys, is lights. Lights. Now, this is really, really important. Again, it's a big mistake that we see people make. No, but I'll find the good light where you can actually see me properly in it.
Got it.
So sometimes, obviously, if you're in an apartment and you're in a house, obviously you don't have, these lights with you. Although our daughter actually found something the other day that clips onto your mobile phone. It's one of those little ring lights. And it sounds crazy. It's not even about being vain. I see so many people do video content and like they're in the dark. So the idea is if you're going to actually do video content, you may as well engage with people. So, but if it's not going to look great and it's not going to sound great, you're not off to a really, really good start. So these lights here that we've got at the moment, you can see, like we're turning them off and all of a sudden, and I've got makeup on, but all of a sudden we're not starting to look great. Well, this is a really good, Mark, this is a very good example. So we're not looking great anymore. You can see I'm looking dark, I'm looking green. It's not very inviting. It's not very engaging.
What happens to you, Lisa? You don't look well.
No.
You need Mark to sit next to you.
So then you turn on these lights and all of a sudden everything comes to light. So you can't always have these lights though when you're out filming property or doing whatever you're going to be doing. So, but make sure you find some really good natural light. That's really important. Or stand under a light. It is
even
important.
if it's halfway dark and halfway light, believe it or not, that stuff's disturbing. It's sort of like seeing someone you haven't seen for a while and they've sort of maybe lost weight or put on weight. You're there trying to work things out.
Yeah.
You don't realise that subliminally you're doing that to people when you're not well lit or when you're not well heard, like Celestia was saying, blurry. It's off-putting a little bit. So it's important you get these elements right. And
also the thing is that really you're going to capture your audience. I mean, we have no attention span at all these days. So if you're going to do the video content, you're going to put it out, let's say, onto social media channels, you've really got about 3 seconds to catch the person's attention. If you haven't caught them because you didn't look right, sound right, and the content wasn't fast and furious, you've lost them before you've even started.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
you got to snap.
Yeah.
Right into why are they going to give you another 10 seconds? So it's almost within that first 3 seconds, banging into straight between the eyeballs, why people should watch the next 10 seconds with and invest their time.
Another mistake, and I know we've covered 5, but I'm going to cover one more. Another mistake that I see, particularly a lot of agents do, and I'm saying agents because obviously we're, always watching a lot of that sort of content. But another mistake is agents take too long to roll into content. There'll be, so I'll give you an example and I'll give you a tone and I'll give you a way not to do video content. Hi, it's Lisa Novak here from Novak Properties. I'm at 822 Pittwater Road in DY today. I've got a beautiful 3-bedroom apartment. It's really nice. It's got panoramic ocean views, 3 really good sized bedrooms, beautiful modern kitchen. That is what not to do. That is what not to do. What to do is all of a sudden, you got to start high energy. So I actually always start, before I've even started my videos, I actually smile. So I'm always smiling first because the minute you smile, you're ready, you're happy, and you've got a high energy level.
I don't do that enough. I look confused.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, often I see mine, I'm like,
because of all the technology you use.
Yeah, you're right.
It probably is.
Smile more.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to do a little tour with the studio setup camera?
Yeah. Are we up? Are we standing up? That's the other thing is I'm sitting on a cushion because I'm short. I have to sit on a cushion so that I'm higher.
Give you the little setup. That's the camera. You don't need it. That's the bad boy. Now there's a light where Lisa was sitting there.
Am I sitting down or am I standing up?
Forward facing lights. And
yes.
For the nose. Then you've got a left light. So these are called aperture APURE.
And also they've got different filters, guys. So you can have the warm filter or you can have the cold filter.
Night, you can break your nail on that.
Yeah, so we've got a yellow filter on that one at the moment just to give us a bit of a warmer look.
That's that. That's the white light. Probably can't see it.
You're probably blinding everyone.
There's an orange one. White one that's already in there.
Yeah.
All right, so the setup we've got with our screens, this is a bit hectic. They're 75-inch screens. Now, the reason we did that is because the bottom left one is when we're looking at the screen, we can see the people we're interviewing and we can see how we're looking on screen. Then you've got our bottom right screen, we normally get our text ready for the whatever we're going to be writing on there.
Yeah.
Our top right, if we're ever sending something from our mobile to this PC, it comes in here. And then our Facebook Live is that top left one. So all that there. Now we also have an iPad that sits here. That's for the what people are responding.
So we can have a look at questions, so we can answer any questions or anything like that.
I'm going to take you to the toilet. This is our toilet. So just in case there's also all this stuff wires back to a PC.
Oh, yeah. Mark's saying what he's showing you there is all the stuff that you're seeing actually wires back to a PC. Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't realise people can't hear me from mics.
No, that's right, exactly. Yeah. But you know what? While we're up, let's go give people a tour of our office. Do you want to?
No, because it's all about.
I reckon we're standing up.
Now,
why not?
This little piece of equipment here. This little piece of equipment here is a mixing board. So listen to birds chirping. Hear the birds chirping? Or
Magic Fairy.
Magic Fairy. When the birds stop chirping, we'll go Magic Fairy. Ready? And you can turn it down. Then you can go Magic Fairy. There you go. So what this board does, and the reason we've got this board, is it will take more than one mic. So often we'll be mic'd up a couple of times. It processes it, it's clearer. We can record just an audio. We can turn it up and down so we can feed into the PC quieter. We can actually get a gauge of how noisy we are. Yeah. You can see we're not too loud. And then that's a speaker. So that puppy there, what that does is if we're interviewing somebody, we can easily turn the volume up and down.
So if you're doing a Zoom, it's really good to have a decent speaker, especially because we're here in a, Mark, you're holding that, I think everyone can see.
They can't see me though.
So the great news is, guys, is that if you're doing a Zoom, you really need to have a good speaker because especially here, we've got a lot of background noise and, it's hard to hear sometimes. So make sure you've got really good sound. You can see we are completely ad-libbing it tonight, completely.
And that we control the computer like that. But that's the pro.
Yes.
That's our little pro setup, and then there's that green screen.
Yeah.
But these green screens you can buy for $50, $100 on eBay.
So yes, you can. This is true. So that's about it. Does anyone have any questions, guys? Michael's asking, do I dare ask the cost of the setup? Asking for a friend. I wouldn't have a clue. Mark, what do you reckon this sort of setup is?
I can't tell you. Mine will get angry.
That one's pointing upwards. So yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I really don't know.
Which Michael?
Michael Edwards is asking.
No, I can't tell him.
Nah. What equipment did you use for your first ever Novak news? Oh my God, Steph, that's a really, really funny question. So I don't know if that camera's live or not, but it's pointing up to the ceiling. But that's a really, really funny question because the Novak news that we used to do, oh my God, can I just say, guys, the amount of mistakes that we have made. So we've been doing this now for about 2 years. The amount of mistakes we have made has been ridiculous. What you see here and what actually goes on behind the scenes, now they're two really different things. Sometimes it runs smoothly, often it doesn't. But the setup used to take us about 5 hours to do our half an hour segment of Novak News that about 3 people would watch.
It was my fault though. I over-engineered it. You don't have to go through that, everybody. Keep it simple.
I just want to say he over-engineers most stuff. Yeah, he does.
Bad habit,
he does.
Good habit. We'll work it out when I get old.
Yeah.
But you will be able to go live on your phone for free.
You don't need any of this.
Don't need any of it.
You don't need any of this. That is the truth. You don't need you don't need any of this equipment. It's just as our business has turned into a multimedia / real estate agency. We have really just grown. I mean, we've bought these bits and pieces along the way. We certainly didn't go out setting up a Novak studio. Yeah, so it's grown along the way.
Not to dodge Michael's question, but these lights, the aperture lights for 4 of those, it's probably about $1,000, $1,200.
Yep.
what's really important is not even as much as the equipment, but the way the equipment's set up, just so it's really snappy and easy for you to run. This board is about $600 or $700. You don't really need it. You can just snap straight into a computer. But we wanted to know that the mic was running and we had feedback and it was
not only that. This is not just about getting video content out for your social media, but let's just think about what we've all just gone through with the pandemic. Like, how many bloody Zoom interviews have we done? How much content did we need on Zoom where, like we couldn't have, let's say, Tom Panos in training or Lee Woodward or, we had to do presentations via Zoom. This kind of setup's been gold. But the reality of it is you don't need any of this. If you really want to notch this up and start taking it seriously, you can buy these bits and pieces along the way.
That's, and then not only that, you don't know if you're going to use it well or which direction you're going to go. So as we invested in each piece of equipment, we sort of, we kept moving in that direction. So it sucked us in. We kept doing it. But now we've got reps that'll sit at this computer. They will have their client on the other end. They will have their document preloaded and they will step through the PDF document with the client.
It's amazing.
It's in another country perhaps, or at home in 2 suburbs away, it doesn't matter. And they'll step them through because it's all set up so they can view the document on one screen, they can see the client on another screen, they can even go into their drive and pull other stuff out, or they can go on RP data on another screen and share those screens around. That's why we did the 4 screens. We sort of muddled into developing more and more into it. So it's really funny that with COVID, it was actually really good for our setup because we were already in that environment.
We were ready to go. Yeah, we were ready to go. There was nothing we had to change during that time because we were already set up and good to go. So just to recap, guys, just before we finish off, what do you need to be able to make great video content? You need a really good mobile device. You need to hold it towards your face. Don't film with the camera that way. Film with your camera that way. I happen to have a case. Thank you to Michael Bergio, one of our lovely guys who works here at Novak. He actually bought me the best mobile phone holder that has a little handle. So it's really easy for me to do that filming. But, otherwise.
Where'd you get it from?
Michael Bergio bought it for me. It was
from
a gift.
Ringa Mall. They sell it at the mall.
You can get them online. I think it's that TDE or whatever it's called. But you can actually buy them online. They're
Michael Edwards would like this girl's case.
Quite a few of our staff have actually ended up buying them, but they're awesome. What do you need? You need you need AirPods. What is it?
Can you focus there? D. What's that?
D and A.
D and DA.
Yeah.
Lisa just kicked me under the table.
He's such a dipper dobber. Seriously. And what else do you need, guys? You need your AirPods. If you want to double up as a mic, that's phenomenal to be able to use the AirPods.
Good mic, AirPods, good camera,
and a cloth
Samsung or iPhone,
clean your lens.
Good one. Good confidence.
Good energy level, high energy. Start off smiling before you do your video content because you'll already feel like you're ready to go.
Yep.
That's it. We're done. All right, guys, that's it. I hope that's been of help to some people or not, but hopefully it has. I really, really do hope it's helped some of you guys out there.
And ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, if you are choosing a real estate agency for rentals, for sale, residential, commercial, you need a great agent that can do traditional selling, and you need a great agent that can do multimedia selling, because multimedia selling, if you haven't noticed, the last 12 weeks has gone through the roof.
It's huge.
Look at restaurant people these days. They've just...
It's been... I cannot even tell you, for our business, it's been a massive, massive game changer. When I think back to where we were a year ago, we've been doing this now for 2 years, but when I think even just a year ago, it's phenomenal. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, when we roll out to finish, you roll out with a song. Here we go.
Do we?
Kumbaya.